Michael. I've spoken for some time about a group of people who have worked at black sites out west in sensitive operations, where I have visited those sites. The leader of that team has come forward. He had a little cameo on News Nation yesterday. That would be Wednesday. That was talking about his involvement with the crash retrieval operations and what have you. There will be more that will be coming out Saturday on that same show with Ross. Really quite a major development. Now, the evidence that exists is way vaster than what you're going to see Saturday. It's going to come out in parts over the next couple of months. And a lot of this is strategic on their part to see, how does the public handle it? What does the media do with it? And more importantly, what pushback and dangers are there coming back to them from rogue elements of government programs, whether it be law enforcement or other activities? And we've talked about this before. Mr. Grush said this under oath at the House last year, that there have been people killed. And we know this. There have been people I've been associated with that have been killed. So this is a delicate situation, because it's one thing if you do it anonymously, it passes through a couple individuals into my hands and we disclose it, which has happened for 30 some years. Information, in the case some documents, images, stuff like this, it's in our archive, dpiarchive.com. Go and see. There's a huge cache of stuff there that no one's looked at yet. But when you're naming yourself and you're operational and you're in a program where, let's just say, if you become too problematic, people tend to be erased or arrested or harassed or what have you. So that changed everything 2 months ago. And they are running their algorithm to their own OPSECs, operational security needs. And of course, I'm very much cooperating with that. So my intention as the founder of the Global Disclosure Project 30 years ago is to be sure that they are safe and try to get this information to the widest audience, but more importantly, also gauge from the connections that we have on my team inside the incoming administration and the current members of Congress, how that's going over and what the appetite is for supporting a path out of these illegal secret programs, or is it going to push back and shut down further? So in a sense, what's coming initially is sort of testing the waters, poking the bear, and putting up trial balloons, if this makes sense to people. And that's a rational approach when you're gone from releasing things anonymously through a whole huge network that we have, versus doing it where you're named, name, rank, serial number, who you are, your whole identity is known to the public. That is a horse of a very different color, my friends. So that is why it really went through this whole metamorphosis.
Note to end on today.
Yep.
Obviously, we're going to keep our eyes on what's coming out from News Nation on Saturday. And we will release another podcast right after that to get your analysis.
Yes, and one comment about that, just so people know, I know what that team has, but I'm not in possession of it. They're in possession of it in their own OPSECs, operational security, and they're going to release it in a way that they feel is safe for all of them, and then they're going to measure the response. So that's why each time this evolves, I'm going to want to speak to all of you who are listening and try to explain what that means, and then also to counter any inadvertent misinformation that comes out, like did yesterday about the drones and Ross saying that those are got to be alien. And that's an understandable position, but that's dangerous, because this is a field where a little knowledge is an extremely dangerous thing. And if you don't know what the capabilities are within covert aerospace engineering programs and how those could be deployed to deceive people, you're going to get tricked. And we can afford that right now. That's exactly what we need to avoid. We need clarity on this, not misinformation. So that's why I'm going to be continuing to do these podcasts, is to try to shed some light to the best of my ability, having researched this for a very long time, and been in some places where I know what we have and how it has been used and could be used. Because I think a vigilant citizenry and an aware citizenry, as President Eisenhower say, is essential. But it's also true that we have to be, in a sense, people who advocate and ask our leaders to get a deeper grasp of this, so that they make the correct decisions for our nation and humanity.